What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to upload a really quick video because I haven't really lately. I've been really working hard on customer stuff and the auction piece. If you haven't, go back and watch a few videos. I'm doing an auction piece. I'm gonna try to get this video up before Friday. That's when the auction ends at 5 p.m. So if you're interested in that piece, go on, bid on it. It's currently at $280, and it is fully clear coated, anything like that, and shipping can be arranged. And then the minimum increments is $20 is what you can bid on it. So it's at $280 right now. So if you're interested, go on there and bid. I will show you guys what it looks like. It's just patiently waiting, but it is fully clear coated. It came out super nice. You can kind of see it. There, you get some reflection in there. You can see that clear. It's super nice, super slick. Believe it's 6 inches by 24 inches or 26 inches. It's one of those two, 24 or 26 inch. It's just aluminum double-sided panel. So it's at $280 right now. So make sure you go. If you're interested, just comment down below your bid. And like I said, it's a minimum of $20 bids. So you can bid up to 20 bucks or you can go as high as you want to. But it is right now at $280. So pretty cool thing. There will be more of these as well coming up. This one did really well. So I'm going to go ahead and buy different sizes of panels and I'm going to do a little bit more stuff. I've got a few over here that I have. That's my personal collection. Things like this, I got a piece of canvas I did a long time ago. This big old piece is a huge piece that I did, but these are for the shop, things like that. But I'm going to continue on doing these auctions, so stay tuned for that. If you guys like to bid on that type of stuff, like I said, just comment down below your bid, and I'll make sure to reach out to you if you are the winner. Personally, and then we'll get the shipping arrangements, all that stuff made. So if you haven't, the last video I made, I was kind of working on that auction piece a little bit, wrapping it up, and I was also working on a guitar for a customer. I went ahead, I had a lot of personal stuff I had to do and a lot of stuff on the side, and with work and everything, I really didn't get around to actually filming me doing it, but it is finally completed. So I really want to show you guys how this guitar came out. The customer wanted it in flat clear, so everything is clear coated with flat clear. Came out really nice. So I wish, like I said, I had step by steps for you, but I was really wanting to jam this thing out and get it back to the customer. He's already waited, past 9 days on it, so I want to get it back to him because he needs to build it. It's a gift for his son, and they're totally redoing everything. His son plays guitar, so I really want to give it back to him this weekend. So I want to just get it done, get it out of there. Sometimes when you're filming this stuff, filming and then editing everything into it, it takes like an extra 2 or 3 days. If you guys do videos and YouTube and stuff like that, you understand the editing part of it and actually filming everything. It adds a lot of time onto it, and that's time I could actually be putting into somebody else's project. So that's why I didn't really film a step-by-step of this, but like I said, it came out really cool. And like I said, it's flat clear. So I'm going to walk you through this a little bit of how I did this. That way, if you guys ever want to do something like this in the future, you'll have pretty much the know-how on how to do this. Here is the back of the guitar. So they went with just a regular old black base coat, and then they wanted Frankenstein, a zombied out Frankenstein, as a portrait with kind of lightning, electrocution, like bolts and stuff going everywhere. So that is what's wrapped on the whole side. That is the front of it. Came out really good. That's just a piece of dirt down there, but came out really good. I'm really super happy with it. So to kind of walk you through this of how I actually did this step by step. I think in one of the videos I showed that I had a sketch outline done in like a white chalk pencil. I did that first, Obviously, I painted it black first. Let me go back to the very first, when I first got it, because this guitar was actually a little beat up, not really too bad, but I had to do some body work, and I had to prime it, and I had to, you know, seal it, paint it black, just regular black paint, and then I put a fresh coat of clear coat on it. I let that dry overnight, sanded the clear coat down to give me a good base for something to airbrush on, and then I went with the white pencil and I sketched out a Frank, just kind of, you know, looking at a few references and something a little bit different than what you don't see, because it seems like when people do these characters or these monsters, they always pick the same one, or, you know, you see somebody's tattoo, it's always the same portrait of Frankenstein. So I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I kind of did my own thing, and I looked at a couple of references and I sketched a Frank out really quick. And then I knew in my head they wanted it pretty much in all green, so I knew which direction I wanted to take this. So once I had everything pretty much outlined out in white chalk pencil, I went around with just a really light whitish gray color, not completely white, but I put a little bit of black in it, and I just started mapping them out, just kind of roughing them in. And I use that same concept that I did on this panel right here for the auction. I used every little bit of the paint I had left over from this on that guitar, and I worked in pretty much just a gray tone on the Frankenstein portrait, and just built it up exactly like I did that auction piece. So if you want to understand more of what I'm talking about, go back and watch the few videos that I have posted on the auction piece, because that has a step-by-step of how I built everything up in a gray tone scale. And that's exactly this one. Just built it up. I think I had like 3 layers of different gray tones in this. And then I went through and I punched a lot of stuff out with the black, a really over-reduced black. And I put a little bit of blue in it to kill that blackness to it. Because if you've ever airbrushed black and you go straight from white to black and you start shading this stuff in, that black is so strong it turns that white to like a brownish nasty color, and I always hate it. So how to eliminate that is I went through and I think I did like 2 or 3 drops of just like a regular bright blue into that black, and that kind of kills that black. It kind of gives the black a little bit of like a blue hue. You'll never be able to tell unless you have something really black up next to it, but it is a little bit of like a blue tint coat to it because of that. But like I said, you'll never be able to tell in person. And I went around, I just shaded everything and knocked like his hair and stuff back. Some of his eye sockets I knocked back, around his cheek, his jawline I knocked back, some in his shirt I knocked back with that black. And like I said, it's really over-reduced, so I was able to go back through and just keep layering it on, and get a smooth gradient spray out of it, and, you know, kind of blend everything in together, because black is really, really harsh to use by itself. So you always want to try to dye it down a little bit, because it will overpower everything. And then what I did from there is I took an old, I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you. It was a base coat green that I had from House of Color that had a little, when you're talking a little bit, I mean less than probably 2 ounces of it left over. And I took some green organic color, and I threw that in there. Obviously the candy from House of Color, the green organic candy color, I made it up with like transneb. I over-reduced it a lot to go through the airbrush, and then I threw it in with that color that I had, and it made this really cool custom. I don't even know what kind of green this is, but it was really cool. It looks kind of dark when you actually put it in the cup, because it's a candy color mixed with like a really translucent green base coat. And then I mixed all that up, but I first went through and I put just plain old yellow, House of Color yellow, in my gun, and I over-reduced the yellow, and I just started shading it everywhere. And you kind of see in this picture, like in his eyebrows, his forehead, where that yellow pops out. His ear right here shows a really good part of it. So I went through and I just kind of shaded a little bit with the yellow. And it was really, really over reduced because yellow can be powerful over white. So you gotta be careful with that too. And then I went back through with this and I just started shading everything. This was pretty much at this point, since it was so reduced down with the candy, it was a true candy. So, and it made a really cool effect going over that yellow. Like you can see, it made it almost like a lime green in some areas, which made it really, really cool. And it made it pop more, and it didn't kill any of the detail I had. So all that stuff said, I went back through, like I said, I started just layering it little by little with this green, and I just popped the certain edges out that I wanted. Like I wanted more of a green in the background of his hair, things like that. I wanted more green in like his scar right here, and around his flesh that's been ripped open, around his jaw, with his teeth showing. And then once I had all that down, the more if you don't know about candy, the more you put on, the darker it's going to get. So you could tell what kind of green this is, because this is pretty much the darkest that I had it, because I was actually putting a lot on. So and then there's some areas like the up here in his, with the electricity coming out from his neck on the bolt, you can tell that green too. So then I went back through and I did a really, really over reduced white, and I kind of went back in with his eyes and just kind of barely dusted. And same way with his little metal bars that are holding up his stitch or his rip in his forehead. And then that was pretty much it. Obviously I cleaned it, went back through, and I put regular clear, put 2 coats of clear to lock everything down. And then once that dried, I sanded it, and then I put 2 more coats of flat clear on it. The good stuff, it's not, the rattle can stuff or anything like that. It's actually automotive grade flat clear from House of Color. So it's got enough UV protection on it. He could set this thing outside, and that candy green is not going to fade away. And that's one thing as a painter, a custom painter especially, that a lot of people don't understand. When you're doing, like, let's say you're painting a whole car like a candy orange or a candy green or pink or whatever, red, you have to put enough UV protection on there. A lot of people just put 2 coats on it, or sometimes they put 3 on there and they think it's good. It's like, no, it's like you need to add a lot of clear to protect that, especially if you live in the states like Florida, Arizona, where it gets really, really hot and your stuff sits outside 24/7. That sun will eat through that, and that candy will slowly start fading away. Like if you do a red, it'll start fading away to where it looks pink, and it looks splotchy, and it'll totally take that candy out of it. So you always want to make sure, like my rule of thumb is I'll clear coat something 2 or 3 times, sand it down, and then do another round of like 4 or 5 on top of it, just to protect it. Because if it's going to sit out in the sun, like I said, a lot of the high-end cars, they don't sit outside. But if you want to go to the show or something like that, or if you live in like a state where it's really warm all the time, like you just got to protect that candy. So this thing can sit out for however long it wants to. It will never get ate through. It'll stand the test of time. The only thing you got to worry about with flat colors is, or flat clear, is when you spray that stuff, it's got to be perfect, because there is no wet sanding and buffing the dirt out of it. There is no, buffing at all. There is no wiping it clean. You're pretty much, fingerprints or anything like that's going to show up in it because it's a flat clear coat. Some are more durable than others. House of Colors flat clear is actually really, really good. I like it a lot. And it works well. But like I said, if you have something on your hands and and it transfers onto a flat cleared surface, I mean, you're pretty much SOL at that point. So like when this customer told me they wanted a flat clear on their guitar, I had to go through the list of like, hey, you can't do this, you can do this. There's a lot of things that go involved with a flat clear coated job. And there's a lot of products you got to use that are different if you want to clean something, because you can't take wax to this thing you know, spray wax on it. You can't do any of that. You can barely touch it. So it's a really delicate piece that you gotta, you know, you gotta let your customers know what they're getting into. And sometimes it'll change their mind. But you got customers like this guy and his son where they really want it flat, clear. So, you know, you just got to give them what they want, but you also you gotta pretty much keep them informed and teach them, educate them on the taking care of whatever it is you're doing for them, because a lot of people just they don't have that, you know, they don't understand. So you got to make sure you check your boxes off, and you know, dot your I's and cross your T's, and make sure that you're covered, you're on yourself, and as well as they know how to take care of the stuff, because it is a little bit tricky, you know, like especially if you have a car that's flat clear, there's very little things you can do. There's like very few chemicals you can spray on it to clean it, and you know, you don't want to like shy away from that. You got to use that stuff non-stop, and that's the only thing you can use on it, because everything else will just, it'll ruin that finish on it. So that's why I got it laying on a blanket. It's nice and soft. Nothing's going to touch it until they pick it up. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Obviously, I've been working on my own car as well. I'm in the process of remote tuning it for all the stuff that I put on it. So I'm doing that. I mean, I've been doing that for a few weeks, but yeah, it's a long process. We're at the point of right now of like taking timing out of it and getting the power up to where it needs to be for what I have into it. Not trying to do big numbers or anything like that, but it's more like a showpiece for me. But I do want it running really well and driving well, because I plan to take this thing to shows. I want to take it everywhere that I can. So that's what I've been doing. So I just want to make this little video, quick little video for you guys. And when I have something else, you know, if I want to do another auction piece, I do have a customer car coming in, hopefully pretty soon. That it's a big project that I will be filming and doing videos and how-tos as I go along with it. So stay tuned for that. But right now I just don't have anything that is planned until those projects start running, you know, coming into the shop. But I might get the itch, and I might, you know, like I said, buy a panel and start airbrushing some more and things like that. So if you guys want anything you want to know, or you know, you have a question, or you know, comment down below. I'll be gladly to help you out if I can, or give you at least some resources to where you can help, you know, help you figure it out. But yeah, until then, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.